What's up, Modern Contractors? Teddy here. In this episode, we sit down with Steve Hunsaker. Steve is from the Home Service Accelerator program. Steve is teaching north of 750 home service contractors on how to scale Facebook and Instagram ads without hiring a consultant or agency. If you've ever run Facebook or Instagram ads in the past and you didn't have any luck with it, you're going to want to listen to this episode. Steve has cracked the code and he's helping other home service contractors run ads in-house, saving thousands of dollars per month by dialing in the systems and processes to run these ads and to field the calls on the back end. You're going to want to listen to this episode and learn exactly how he gets it done. Let's get into it.
You're listening to Modern Contractor TV, the show for home service pros who want to build real business value, scale profits, and create a company that doesn't rely on them day to day. Hosted by entrepreneur, author, and advisor Teddy Slack, a builder of multiple seven-figure service businesses. Each episode brings you real-world strategies to help you grow, systemize, and prepare for a profitable exit. Let's get into it.
Hey, Steve, welcome to Modern Contractor TV.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man, I'm super excited to have you on here, man. I've been following you for a while, and you got a lot of big things going on, so I can't wait to dive into it.
Yeah, man, I'm super stoked. It was cool hearing about your business off camera a little bit too, so I'm excited for what we get on to here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So tell me a little bit about how you got into home services, and if did you go to school? Did you learn anything in college? I mean, I know I didn't learn anything in college. I went, but I didn't learn until I started my own business and school hard knocks.
Yeah, exactly. I learned very little in college. I did go to school. I went to Grand Canyon University here in Phoenix. But yeah, so went to school, graduated when I was 21, instantly went to go door knock with a logistics company.
There you go.
So I was like B2B door knocking in the back of warehouses for 2.5 years. Like brutal, but like the worst job you could ever do. But then everything after that's easy. Like,
yes.
Like, it was fantastic. Baseline skill acquisition from like door knocking at a young age, very, very good. Because like any sort of other sales feels easy. So that's what I did. And then I moved from there to like a company called Paycom, which is like S&P 500 payroll system, selling to like mid-market, upper market.
Okay.
And then the old worldwide sickness happened in 2020. And I was like, I cannot do this, dude. They were making me like cold call CFOs who just like laid off 500 employees. And they were like, you should hit your metrics. And I was like, you should, at the time back then, it was like kind of frowned upon. Like they were like, are you seriously calling right now? This was like July of 2020, like terrible. So anyway, quit that. And then I started the Christmas light business. So I started hanging Christmas lights in October of 2020. That was my first home service business. And just like, basically our model was, go to the like wealthier areas, custom cut, custom fit Christmas lights on their houses, roofs, bushes, trees. And now we've upgraded to like wreaths, permanent lighting, like all this other stuff too. And so that was 2020. So that was essentially 6 years ago now, which is crazy to hear out loud. And then fast forward, then I did a junk removal business in the off season for a few years, got that one up like decent size, got rid of it once Home Service Accelerator and Valley Christmas got going. And then Home Service Accelerator is like my big operation now, because in my Christmas light business, we run that essentially, 2 months a year, and then I have nothing to make money from the rest of the year. We do a little bit of permanent lights now, so that's going, but I have an operator and a co-owner in that business. And so now like Home Service Accelerator is like kind of the thing that I'm most known for now and my small little audience on the internet. But
man, you're doing great, bro. And I see your ads all the time, and you're putting out a lot of great content too, which is awesome. And you're helping a lot of home service contractors, figuring this out. Because listen, a lot of us, like you said, we went to school. You don't learn this shit in school. I went to school for business, marketing, and management. I learned nothing of what I needed to put in play when I got out. I just learned as I figured it out. You know what I mean? And it took me 10 years to really dial things in. So if you could help other contractors dial it in quickly, it saves them a bunch of money and time for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And like the big thing for me is like what Home Service Accelerator was built off of largely was the fact that like over that 6 years, I had like hired every agency possible. I had hired Angie, Thumbtack. I'd tried like every possible mistake you can make in like running a home service business, I had done multiple times. I comped dudes wrong. I hired the wrong people. I used the wrong systems. I paid for dog doo-doo agencies. Like, you name it, like every mistake in the book I did. And so the beauty of it is like, as we kind of honed in our main offer to like, you can run Facebook ads without an agency. You can start your Google Maps SEO like largely without an agency, and then eventually upgrade to one that isn't terrible when your business gets big enough. And then like it's built into like, we like show people about like texting automation and systems and branding and all of this stuff. And that's kind of like largely the reason it got so popular is, well, from a customer acquisition standpoint, if you go on the internet saying agencies suck, home service business guys naturally like you.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Right? Because like
they all have the same experience. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like for me, it's like the easy, if we talk about like human behavior marketing 101, if I, one, am the marketing guy now, but two, am a home service business guy with a very public platform that shows the bank account in some of my content, it's like, oh, he's one of us, and he's a marketing guy that also says the marketing agencies suck, because they do.
Yep.
And so like now my model is like, I don't think you should run in 2026. Like at the time of us recording this, I do not think that you should pay an agency to run Facebook ads unless you're doing 7 or 8 figures a year. And I could still make a very compelling case as to why you should still run it in-house, even at that size.
Wow. Yeah. See, that's very interesting because, you know, I mean, I've always paid guys. I never had a lot of luck. In my last industry, I ran Facebook ads and it just didn't, there was no ROI there for me, but I spent a lot of money. I mean, they charge you $3-4 grand a month to manage it plus ad spend. I mean, you're dropping 7-8 grand a month for a small business. You know, that's a lot of money. So, you know, but I know the algorithms change and the way you manage the back end has changed. So it has gotten a lot easier. So you're inside teaching guys how to basically do that in-house and you're having these business owners run it themselves, huh?
Yeah. And so the big thing for me is like, there's like 2 different parts, right? Like I could speak to the finance math equation of running Facebook ads. And it's exactly what you just said, right? I pay an agency $2,000 a month, $1,500 a month, whatever, in agency fees. And then I want to spend $100 a day.
Yep.
So let's do easy math. $100 a day is $3,000 a month in ad spend going to Mark Zuckerberg. And then you're paying an agency $1,500. So half of your ad spend, 50% of your ad spend is also going to go allocated to an agency. So you're spending, you know, $4,500 a month on Facebook ads, but what are they doing anymore? So economically, you know, 50% of your ad spend being an agency fee just doesn't make sense for any business, right? But then the other side is like what the agencies have to do now at the time of filming this in 2026 is targeting is dead on Meta. So what agencies did for me in 2020, which was like, they would pick audiences. For me in Christmas lights, it was like, we want conservative Christians. They love Christmas lights. So rich areas, high income, target conservative Christians. Those campaigns printed money, dude. Like I'm talking like $4 cost per leads. And we would make contact with like 70% of them. Stupid. Wow. Those are all of those targeting is gone. After the Apple update in like 2022 or whatever, all detailed targeting is gone. Like we don't even filter by age demographic anymore because most people lie about their age on Facebook too. So that doesn't even work, right? And so the old way of ad targeting died when like all of the Russia stuff happened, all of the Apple opt-in stuff happened. And so the Facebook algorithm now is all creative based. The only skill gap is making a compelling ad. And then what type of people who have similar online behaviors interact with your ad tells Meta's algorithm, okay, let's show it to more people like that. And then we'll keep going, right? And so if targeting is dead, right? And we know that video style ads work for local based businesses. You ask yourself, what is the agency doing for me then? Because devil's advocate, I am an agency and I sign you up. The first thing I do for you, Teddy, is I go, okay, Teddy, here's what I need you to do. I need you to go out. I need you to film 3 videos and we'll edit it for you. Or 5 videos, we'll edit it for you. Here's your scripts. Spoiler, all the scripts you're getting from agencies are Chat GPT slop anyway. And then they're like, okay, now give us $2,000 a month so that we can pay a Fiverr Sri Lankan editor $50 a video and just run it up for you, right? There's no bidding. There's no like anything anymore for local businesses. And so that's kind of the use case. And so what I did in like 2023 was I was like, I think I can do this myself. It was like 2023, 2024. And so I brought Meta ads in-house and I outperformed every agency. And like I had taken like little tidbits from Gary Vee, maybe little tidbits from like Hormozy and other people. And like, I understood that like at the local level, the things that are going to sell is like aggressive, front facing, I'm in your community, owner driven ads. And so what we see working really well now is like, if you want meta ads or any sort of advertising like that, first, the owner or the GM or whoever's going to be the face of the company has to be on camera, in brand. And it's like all about like the subconscious trust building propaganda. Yep. And then you talk to the things that your actual customers care about. And then like, sure, our lead costs more expensive than 10 years ago. Yeah, but so are your prices, hopefully. Yep. Yep. Right. And so that's kind of like the model behind it. And so like at the time of us recording this now, there's like 700 something people in Home Service Accelerator Pro. And so it's like 700 different home service businesses all over the nation, from plumbers to HVAC to window cleaners to backyard remodelers to kitchen guys, like painters, whatever. And like the model works the same. It's like, because it's just basic human behavior. It's like, essentially what you're doing is you're building a thing that gets a human being to take action. And it's like, how good are you at honing the skill of making a piece of content that gets a human being to take action? Because like an agency is not going to help you do that. Like you have to, as the owner, do that.
I just talked to an agency not that long ago, actually, that wants to run some Facebook ads for me. And the thing that piqued my interest is they were offering to send in a videographer. They were offering, and on the back end, they had a call center that was basically booking the calls for you, and they were guaranteeing a certain amount of book calls. So I was like, all right, so you're going to field all the leads and all that stuff. I'm like, I see the value there. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like, if they're just running the ads, there's no way I would pay somebody $2,000 or $3,000 a month just to run the ads. I feel like the platform, and especially with AI now, the way that you could screenshot shit if you don't understand it in the back end, you just screenshot it, send it to ChatGPT. Hey, what do I do next? How do I optimize this? Right. And it could just help you run those ads. Right. It's pretty simple.
Yeah. And yeah, that actually, so that agency model you're talking about, the local agency model, is getting more popular because the filming is the real friction point. Yeah. Right.
I was going to ask you, how hard is it to get these guys out of these 700 contractors you're coaching? How hard is it to convince them to get on camera? Right. Is that difficult?
We frame it properly on the sales call, like in the sales process, like, hey, do not sign up for this if you're not going to do it. Like all of my content talks about it that way. Yep. And so that part's easy, is they've kind of come in with the understanding of like, hey, if you want this to work, like
at least on camera. Yeah.
This portion of Home Service Accelerator to work, like you're going to have to get on camera.
Yeah.
But like, you can go get a UGC creator if you really hate it that much. You can find a local UGC, like user generated content creator, throw them in a polo, and they could be your face if you wanted to. But yeah, that local model is becoming more popular because of that. But what I've found, and like, did you end up signing up with that agency?
I have not, no. And I was just entertaining it, yeah.
I would have entertained it too. So what I've found with anything like that is like everything sounds really good on the sales call if it works properly, right? Yeah. But then it's like, how quality is the call center? Like, are their scripts good? What's the operation of that call center fielding my Facebook leads? Is it 5 dudes in Colombia who all have accents and they're sharing a pool of 15 businesses or 20 businesses? Is it a dedicated rep for me? Because like we have a program that we sold to a master franchise group. It's a variation of Home Service Accelerator to a specific franchise, and I can't name who it is, but what's really interesting about that is one of the things they sell the franchises on is like, oh, we have a call center for you. But some of these guys get on the calls and they're like, yeah, the call center, I tested it the other day, and the call center took 4 days to get back to the lead that was my wife. Like the wife, like, and so call center sounds great. Oh, I don't have to handle my calls, sounds great. And then like it all comes down to execution.
Of course.
And that's like what always kind of like rubbed me the wrong way, is every single business has a great sales process at this point. Like they understand how to say the right things, put a bow on it, whatever else. It's like the implementation, everything is tough. And so the beauty of what we do is we're like, hey, this is a self-starter thing. Like we're there to support. We've productized it a lot. Like we will help them script it custom to them and like show them how to like feed an AI properly to script it properly, or like show them and teach their teams or their VAs how to edit, or like show them editors, whatever else. But like the idea largely is like the beautiful thing for me is like there's so much pain in the marketplace, like what you're talking about and everything else. which is like everyone is so annoyed with agencies over promising and under delivering. Like our offering sounds so different and unique that they're like, oh, all right. Like, I mean, it can't be worse than the agency. Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And, you know, I feel like, yeah, I mean, if you're getting them, if you're pre-framing it and letting them know you got to get on camera, and what they don't realize too is, and this is what I learned back in 2020 when I started making content for my last business, is when you become that local celebrity, right? And they are seeing you all over, right? They see the ads and you're constantly just showing up on their algorithm. And then you go there and you're dealing with them, or you're taking the call. I mean, I would have people call my office like, hey, I want to talk to the guy with the beard, because I was the guy on the video all the time. Well, as soon as I got on the phone with these people, they were like, it was an instant close. My close rate went through the roof. They were like, they trusted me instantly. It was like a game changer. And that's stuff that I didn't really realize when I first started making the content. I was like, wow, this is, and then not only that, I had employees reaching out to me like, hey, I want to come work for you. I see your content online, you know? So like it works in a lot of different ways. And for people that are afraid to get on camera, I highly recommend it. I mean, it is by far, hands down, the number one driver, in my opinion, when it comes to marketing, the best ROI that you can do. It takes a little bit of time, but it's by hands down, there's nothing else like it.
Yeah, dude, it's really interesting. You bring up the like the employee side. I have a buddy out here in Phoenix. Him and this other guy are like both in their late 20s, and they own a construction company. They're doing like when Chipotle wants to open a new location, they're like prepping the lot, doing all that stuff,
work,
like excavators, all of that stuff. Massive business. They do they put a ton of money into organic content for the sole purpose of finding employees locally.
I believe it.
So they like drone footage with the backhoes. Their brand is everywhere, and like half of their content is like, want to work for us, apply here. So they're using that platform, but not to like sell a new developer on Chipotle, like or opening up another Dutch Bros. They're using the same model we're talking about, but to attract like employees, because it was that or just dump money into Indeed, and all these guys are just like job board snipers. You know?
You got to put it out into the universe. People will find you, believe me. I mean, people want to be a part of a company that's making content, especially it's like, you know, that's young, it's hip, it's like these cutting edge, you know, and nobody was doing it at that time. When I first started in my industry, I was in a very niche industry. So I was the only guy in the industry making content. And then, you know, some of the competitors, I found a guy in New York started popping up. He started making content. So like, you know, people started to follow along because they saw what we were doing. And it wasn't even about becoming YouTube famous or getting a lot of subscribers. It was literally just letting people know, like, and trust you. And then again, my closing rate went through the roof. Employees came knocking. I mean, it was the best thing. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now with the roofing business. I'm like, screw it. I'm going right out there day one. I'm starting to make content because I know how much, you know, how much it definitely pulls, you know, and, you know, when I looked at the competition for roofing, I mean, out of 80 roofers in my little 20-mile radius, not one of them is making content. So I'm like, I got to go hard in this area, you know?
Yeah, because like most of those roofers are on the paid ad hamster wheel. They're dumping money into Google PPC, LSA.
Lead aggregators are buying leads, bro. I never knew anything about that. Once I got into this business, I was like, what? You just buy leads? Like, I didn't have that in my last business. I mean, we dominated the map pack. I was number one within 40 miles, like with one location. It was unheard of. But there was no competition. I had 12 guys to compete against. Now with roofing, you know, you're playing the big boys. You got to get out there and you got to really dominate that map pack. Is huge. But you gotta make the content, man. I mean, and the private equity guys aren't making the content, right? I was talking to you a little bit about this before when we got on the call, but essentially these private equity guys are what I'm seeing. They're doing a lot of AI generated content, which I'm like, does this stuff really work? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so the beauty of advertising in today's day and age is like it's incredibly humbling because you're like, my opinion is irrelevant. So what I mean by this is like, when we show somebody how to run their own Facebook ads, or when I do it too into my own business, like I just for example, like I practice what I preach. We just went live with a new campaign, and we went live testing 10 video creatives and 9 still image creatives at the same time.
Wow.
Because we know the only factor is creative variation. One of these is going to hit. Like if I test one creative at a time, I have one shot. If I put a campaign in that has 20, I got a pretty good shot of finding a banger, right?
Yeah.
Like decent. And so what's interesting about when you ask about the AI is like, I don't care if it's a robot. I don't care if it looks like I think it's going to suck. As long as it performs, baby, I don't care. And like, that's what's so funny about it is like, I have done ads where I was like, that is my masterpiece. Like we did an ad where my videographer came over. I like got in bed. I had like one of those like honk shoe, like Santa hats to sleep in. And I was in like pajamas, you know, like, what is it? Like Scrooge McDuck, pajamas thing with like the Santa looking hat. And I was like, let's make an ad about like stop sleeping on our permanent lighting, call Valley Christmas Lights. And like I was like pretend sleeping, and then this like dream bubble came up, and then it popped into like a bunch of B-roll of like our best looking installs, and I was like, that ad's gonna rip. Yeah. One of the worst performing ads we've ever done. Like $110 cost per leads, like absolutely dog doo-doo, terrible. And I'm like, okay, so like my opinion never matters.
Yep.
Right? But the only thing you can control as like an ad buyer or an ad creator yourself is like just give yourself enough bullets to find the winner.
Yeah.
And then when you find the winner, you just recreate variations of that winner.
No, it makes sense.
So like with the AI thing, like they clearly like if they've been running them for a while and they're putting spend behind it.
Yeah, it's working. Something's working. Yeah.
Something's working.
And how long are you testing it for? So it's like, are you teaching that you're testing it for 3 days? Is it a week? I mean, what's the typical like testing period?
So it all comes down to like how many eyeballs did you get, right? So like at $50 a day and your CPMs are, $100 CPM. So cost to reach 1,000 people is $100, which is high CPMs. They probably won't be that. But like if you use that math, then, I reached, at $50 a day, not that many people, right?
Yeah.
Like I reached 500 people, right? Essentially at $100 CPM. And so if that's the case, then, most of the time it's like easy math. Home service CPMs are largely like pretty similar across the board, somewhere between like $40 and $70 to reach 1,000 people. And so, but the better you make the ad, the lower your CPMs are. Imagine that. Yeah. So for us, it's like if someone launches a campaign and they're spending $50 a day, I'm like, you gotta let that thing at least cook $500 of your dollars before you turn it off. And so at $50 a day, that's like 9 days, right? Or like 10 days or whatever. That's like realistic. Because what'll happen is like, as the algorithm's learning, it's going to show it to this subgroup of people, and then it might get 3 leads. And you'll be like, oh my gosh, 3 leads already, $17 a lead, let's go. And you're like, I'm rich. And then 2 days will go by. 2 days will go by, you'll get 0. And you're like, what the hell? And it's either testing a new creative, like testing a top of funnel, bottom of funnel, like. The other thing that's crazy about these campaigns is like you don't shut off ads anymore because the algorithm naturally starts to categorize and naturally puts more spend into the creatives that are performing better, and then also starts nurturing people with different creatives. And so like if one ad is a banger, they'll start showing them like if somebody watches your ad and they watched 45 seconds but didn't take action, that is one of the hundreds of weird online behavior data points that Meta will take. They'll be like, okay, well, let's show the algorithm's gonna be like, okay, let's show them another video, this video, and see if that gets them to convert. And then show them this video, does that get them to convert? And then eventually it's just like data. Yeah. And so what's funny about that is like people try to outsmart the $1 trillion algorithm. And it's like they add a bunch of targeting and parameters. It's like, dude, if you add like the right amount of friction on your like forms and whatever to get quality leads to come through, and you let the algorithm cook, it will find the people for you.
Yeah, no, 100%. I learned that. I'm an old Sam Ovens guy. I learned from Sam. Yeah, back in the day, I took his course, went through his program. I ran ads back then. I think it was like 2018. Same idea back then. He was like, don't overcomplicate it. Let it do its thing. This algorithm is the smartest algorithm on the planet. Let it do its thing,
Yeah, and it's like it's so funny. Like Sam Ovens, Alex Hormozi, all roads lead back to Russell Brunson. He's the godfather. He's the godfather of this game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And now, are you running those ads? What do you find that best hits best? I mean, you're running to like a Facebook form fill, and then you're having these clients like call them right away, like within a couple of minutes, right? Speed the lead, obviously.
Yeah. So so as far as like what like the conversion event is, we'll start there. It's almost all lead forms now. Yeah. Like first name, last
landing
name.
pages, right? You're not.
No, I don't want to take them. I don't want to take them off platform. And so like and some people disagree with me on this. And it's usually people who have a lot of success with Google PPC, because Google PPC, you have to have a landing page, right? So they come from that world. That's what they think they know. The interesting thing about like off platform is it's not necessarily Facebook's fault. But if you notice, like I just updated my iPhone, and when I updated my iPhone to the new update, like my Safari works, like my Safari app barely works now. And it's like then an update gets fixed and the Safari app works better. And what's interesting is some of the worst browsers are the browsers that it's like when you open a link in Instagram and it opens that page, it like sometimes like you get an error message, it's gross, whatever else, it takes longer to load, whatever. I like to keep them on the platform that they're doom scrolling videos of dogs and like cooking videos on. I don't want to take them off that. Because like that's a massive friction point. It's like they, go to a new website and then it didn't even open in Safari. It opened in like the web browser in the Instagram app, and it's kind of gross. So we do lead forms, and then we play around with the friction a little bit. And so if you have a business that's like a lower ticket and everybody's a lead, like pest control, almost no friction, right? Because you just want like flood of leads. Like I want volume, right? But what happens is like a lot of volume, as long as your business can serve literally everybody, like volume isn't necessarily the best thing because there's a lot more poor people in every market than there are rich people, right? And so like Facebook's not going to, if the conversion event is like for example, if they're not running lead forms, if they're running messenger campaigns, like the reason messenger campaigns can't scale is like, you know how many crackheads like opt in to like messaging campaigns just to talk to somebody?
Yep.
Because there's no friction at all. And every time a messaging conversation opens up, it's a pixel event. So now the algorithm's like, more of that. That was a cheap conversion, more of that. And it's terrible. And so like, if you're a business with like a little bit of friction, like what you used to do with like all of like on the construction side, like probably have to have some ability to pay, probably have to have like some whatever. We start adding like tiny bits of friction. So for me, like our forms now, let me be clear. We sell to like the richest people on the planet. Like my Christmas light business, not my permanent lighting, like my temporary Christmas light business, we sell to like athletes, actors, Fortune 500 bros, like average
it's definitely a luxury item for sure.
Every home value, like my sales guys are mad if the home is less than $1.5 million. Like they're mad. They're like, this would be a shit lead. We're like, okay, relax. Like not all of them. But that's just like how they're trained. That's a conversation for another time. So on our Christmas light ads on the forms, we literally say what our minimum is on the form. That is an incredible amount of friction that like probably 5x is my cost per lead. But like, so we ask them for the first name, last name, zip code, and then what they want done on their house, whatever else. We give them like a drop down box. And then we have a disclaimer that says our minimum rate is $9.99 or something like that. Do you acknowledge that the minimum price is $9.99 and that is within budget? Then they click yes. It takes them through.
We way better lead.
We lose a ton of traffic there. But when the leads do come in, my salespeople aren't just like sifting through 10 absolute dog doo-doo leads to get to one potential buyer.
You have to have it. Because otherwise they're on the phone or they're just dealing with bullshit leads. Yeah, it's a waste of time.
Yeah, and then it becomes a fun game of like tipping the scales however you want. It's kind of like a kind of fine line. And so, because then what happens is like my permanent lighting business, like we sell financing on that because it's a home improvement. Like, of course, we're going to try to like, if 55% of home improvements done through financing, like I'm going to need to offer financing for permanent lighting on these people's places. And so for that, if you're offering financing, like even though our average ticket on the temporary business is $3,800, our average ticket on the permanent's a little bit higher, but it's permanent, and we're offering financing, like we can open that up to a little bit more middle-class people, right? Because then it becomes an economic decision where it's like, okay, if you're paying somebody $800, you're paying one of the smaller businesses $800 to do your roof line every Christmas, this will pay for itself in 4 years, right? And then you get way more functionality, whatever else. And so on that business, I don't have a minimum charge, and I just open it up to whatever. Little bit lower value lead, but we ask like, is this for your home or business? We have a little bit more dialed in like zip code wise, and then we ask like some form of friction question that's not financial, and that helps a little bit. Yeah, but there's kind of like it's kind of a dance.
Like, how's it work in that industry with like for getting help? So when you're getting guys, I mean, like you said, you're only really working 2 months out of the year for the temporary lights. Like, I mean, you have guys that are, where are you pulling these guys from? Like, how does that work? I would imagine that's like it could be somewhat of an issue, no?
Oh, it's the hardest part about Christmas light. It's like most Christmas light businesses can get to like doing $100K, $200K a season because like the owner can
it's a 1 or 2 man shop.
They can owner op with a helper or two, whatever else. Like the issue is like we do like 1.17 million in like 2.5 months.
That's crazy.
So it's so it's like I have to have the sales operations, the back office, and the actual like installers as if my business was a $6 million a year business or whatever it is. Like I have to build it that way. But then the challenge is I have to turn over most people for 9 months a year. Yeah, right.
It's tough.
And so what I've done, which is part of why I started Home Service Accelerator, is I now have a place for the sales guys historically to come sell a different product the other 10 months a year and stay in my bubble. Yep. So like it's one of my Christmas light guys my Christmas light sales guys sold Home Service Accelerator last year. right? But then that's also why we started the permanent business, because now we can take our crew leads from temporary, which they make a lot of money in the temporary season because we have to pay top talent. We take crew leads and like the ops staff and we move them to the permanent business because we can at least sell, mid 5 figures in the perm business during the rest of the year per month. And so we can keep a lot of guys busy, at least like hourly, because then they know at temporary season they're going to make a lot of money. And then like everything else is like my back office goes and moves to Home Service Accelerator. So like my office staff for my Christmas light business, like Lily and a few of the other girls moved to Home Service Accelerator.
Okay.
And we do like a lot more project-based stuff then. That way I'm not like turning over people all over every year. But as the permanent business gets bigger and more popular, we won't have to do that nearly as much. But I turn over installers, dude, 20 of them have to go get other jobs every year.
And then, I would imagine, then you got coming up to it, you got to recruit and bring them back. Some guys come back, some guys don't, right?
Yeah, so we get a lot of college labor. That helps.
Okay.
But this year, when we got way bigger, like we did like 800 something thousand last year and then 1.17 this season. So we jumped by like quite a bit for that. Because remember, it's essentially 40, 50 days to make money.
That's crazy, yeah.
So like you essentially have an entirely different business operation every time you want to exponentially grow. Like it's insane. And so what we did there is we realized like one of our lags is the college kids like start to suck because their schedules are like this kid has class Tuesday, Thursday, whatever else. So this year we did go to the open market, like Indeed and stuff like that. We like hired grown men for like the first time this year. And some of them sucked. Like a lot of them sucked. We had to fire a lot of people, but dude, we found some like rock star installers through that, which is like, I mean, I think the math was like 500 something applicants in like 2 weeks. We ended up hiring, 15, and then they have some friends that get us up to like 20, 25. Nice. And then you turn over 2 people on the first day. 2 people don't even make it to day 1, or they show up an hour late on day 1. You're like, brother, this ain't gonna work.
Home. Yeah, no, exactly. I've sent guys home plenty of times in the first hour. They show up. I'm like, yeah, this is not for you, man.
Oh, dude, we had to fire a dude for some shit I don't even want to say on camera. Like they just grown man my dad's age firing him for like some of the most egregious stuff you've ever heard. And it's like, it's just home service stuff. You're just absolutely. Like, this is part of the game.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. Have you had any luck with Facebook for hiring? I actually had some luck with that. I mean, have you tried that?
We get like a little bit of traffic, like of people DMing us, like, "Hey, like, are you guys hiring? I work for this company." Like some Christmas, like we got some good employees from other Christmas light companies in the Valley. They're like, these guys look like they have their, what together. But I've never run like ads for hiring. Fun fact: Facebook has gotten more strict about hiring ads. Yeah. So you can like, if you're not compliant properly, they can shut your ad account down.
So I haven't, I mean, it was probably 2021, 22 was the last time I ran those ads. And, they did well for me. I mean, I hired a couple of, operators and for heavy equipment operators off of there. And, it worked well then. I haven't run Facebook ads for hiring since then. But, I mean, I'm in a different business model now. So roofing, I mean, I'd love to get your take on this. So, I mean, so when you get a guy that comes into your home service accelerator, I mean, where are you pointing them? Let's say right off the bat, let's say they're a fairly small business and they just want to generate leads now, right? So are you saying, hey, turn on these Facebook ads right now, run them yourself? Or are you telling them, obviously, LSA, you have local SEO, which takes some time, and where are you pointing them in which direction? Is it buying leads initially? What's your take on that?
So we typically we're in the sweet spot, right? Like I don't want like new businesses unless the operator and the owner's really sharp. Like I do not want like, oh, we're just starting. Like, absolutely not. You'll never see messaging in any of my ads about like, oh, you want to start and scale your home service business? Hell no. Yeah. Like it's all like my sweet spot is like owner ops that maybe have an employee or two that like they understand the basics. They just need like a little bit of guidance. Yep. And so with a roofer, for example, like we would say, okay, here's your task. Like, what do you have set aside for marketing? And then they say, like we could spend, to get this thing going, we could spend, we could burn, through $2,000 a month for 6 months and it wouldn't hurt, as we're getting it going. But obviously you're going to assume they're going to sell some jobs. But worst case, if we didn't sell anything, we could survive, And so we would tell them, okay, like here's what you're going to do. You're going to follow our structure on Meta and you're going to start your spend at $50 a day while you're testing, 5 video creatives and maybe 3 or 4 still image creatives. Let's start there. So then they start there. They start running that at $50 a day for like a week. Now they're out $350. They've been maybe generated some leads or two. Most of the time, the roofing offers are like you're scheduling a free roofing estimate. Like that's usually the offer behind it. The Hormozy lead magnet, you know? And then what they'll find is they'll find like a creative or two that's like the structure of it works. Maybe it's the script, maybe it's what they did, whatever else. And so then when they find like 2 or 3 winners out of that, 5 still image, 3, 4, or 3, 4 still image, 5 videos, whatever else, then we say, okay, that script of that winning video, I want you to pick a new set and setting and re-say exactly what you said in that video. And so maybe they filmed one in their truck and it crushed, or like outside of their branded vehicle and it crushed. Film it on a roof. Say like, I'm on a roof right now. Say the same script, right? And then it's like stuff like that. And so then they start generating these leads that are relatively affordable on the Facebook side. And they'll start like roofers. I'm going to be super transparent. Like roofers and HVAC guys, like you cannot view it in the first month as like, oh my gosh, I'm so ROI positive already. You have to trust your sales process. Right. And so like, just like any other lead that comes in, like your sales cycle in roofing is long unless it's storm damage. Right.
No, it's
like, unless it's like storm chasing. And so you have to like, okay, trust the process. Like how many leads did you get? Great. And then as long as they have a system dialed in that actually tracks like, okay, this, Tim Smith was from Meta. He opted in, January of or January 1st. Like, he might not close until February 15th or March. And so you have to view it in 30-day periods. And then you also have to view that lifetime value of the campaigns. But the difference is when you hit on a roofing ad, you hit. Like these are not small tickets, As you got to let them cook a little bit. But once they start going, and then it's like, because the beauty of what we teach in Home Service Accelerator is like maybe 30-40% of it is the meta ads. But then it's like, we're hammering them on like, do you put out A-frames every single time that you get to an estimate or a job? Like, are you putting a tent out? Like, dude, roofers, because you're there for like a day or sometimes 2 days or 3 days or whatever. Like, get a tent. Like, get a literal, like a tent that has your branding on it and put it in the front yard and then have a little table and like your guy's workbench is that tent that takes up 8 feet by 10 feet in the front yard, but it's a shaded spot for your guys to like work out of in the summertime. And then you just break it down every day and take it with you and have your yard signs out there. And now it's like every single person in the neighborhood knows that so-and-so roofing was just there for 3 days. And it's amazing how many conversations happen if you have like brick and mortar, like not actually brick and mortar, but like physical systems to coincide with like good ads.
Of course.
And so like, oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, of course. I mean, it's similar to like lawn signs, but better because you're there, you're active, you have everything set up. I mean, I've seen the guys that do it, and I 100% agree with that because I mean, my old business. I mean, I would have people walk up to me while we're doing the excavating, we're pulling on an oil tank. Hey, I have one down the street. Can you help me out? You know what I mean? So like, no, 100%. That definitely works for sure.
Yeah, and then it's like, how many people do you think don't bother you or your crews because they weren't explicitly invited?
Yes.
And so like one of the things is like the little A-frame sign that's like 4 feet tall that we put like halfway in the road to make it look like slow down, men are at work. But all we're trying to do is just get eyeballs to look at the A-frame, right? So we don't like stop traffic, but we definitely like want it to be like a Mr. Slow sign for the kids, but for contractors, Yep. And like what we tell people to do now is like, ask me for a free roofing estimate. Like that's what it says on the A-frame. Ask me for this. Ask me for a free quote on whatever. Like, ask me about a reverse osmosis system for your plumbing. Like, whatever it is. And so, like, the big model there is you pay for the leads through Google PPC, Facebook, whatever else. But how much more juice can you squeeze out of the opportunity that you paid for if you do all the other stuff well? Like gift card campaigns, referral nurtures. Are you getting Google review photos? Like, are you doing the physical stuff? Are you doing the physical stuff? Do you have an automation with dope marketing where every single job you do opts the closest 10 to 15 houses into a 5-week mailer that says, we just did the roof for your neighbor. Let us know if you want a free estimate. Like all of these things are just like marketing systems, but the businesses that like say, Facebook ads don't work, Google don't work, like Google ads don't work, whatever. Like usually they either like were bad at creative on Facebook, they ran Google ads wrong, but usually it's a systems problem in the actual business. Like Teddy, you sold a business for a large amount of, I don't know if you put it publicly, but you sold a business for a good chunk of change. Like your systems we're probably 10 times better than all of your local competitors. Your business,
we crushed
right?
We crushed the systems, bro.
Yeah, you crushed it on the system side. And so if I gave you, in like a perfect world, if I gave your business 100 leads, and then at the exact same time that those 100 leads came in, your competitor got those 100 leads, you might get a 7x, an 8x return on ad spend with the exact same leads, came to you at the same time, came to your system at the same time, and your competitor got a 2x and says those ads didn't work.
Yes.
And it's like, but they were the same people, the same ads,
Yes.
whatever else. It's a systems thing.
Well, and here's the thing. This is what people don't realize. Contractors don't realize, and I try to tell people this. Like, it costs nothing to improve your systems. Like most time, like if you're going to put some software in place, you're going to might have some little bit of expense there. But for the most part, you could dial your systems in, and it could be something as simple as like, hey, we're going to actually have an auto reply to this, like for a text message, or I'm going to have somebody actually physically answer the phone instantly, and I'm going to have them being able to give out a proposal. Like, I train my admin staff on how to give basic proposals. So if it was like a basic job, I train them on how to give a proposal. Where before the process was like, hey, the call would come in, they take a message, I'd get back from the field at 5:00, and then I'd call them a couple hours later. I'm like, no, this is not going to work. So like I over the years, I dialed that all the way down to the point where she would be able to instantly get the phone, and then within 5 minutes, she could look at Google. I eliminated site visits. She'd go on Google, look at the access, and be like, okay, yeah, I could get your proposal right now while we're on the phone. What's your information? And before she hangs up the phone, there's a proposal in the inbox, and a lot of times the clients would sign it right then and there because the competition would take 3 days to get an estimate. So it's like, and that, what did that cost me? It really didn't cost me anything. I just changed my system and made that process that much more efficient, and my closing rate went through the roof,
Yeah, it's like, dude, the amount of times I've showed like in YouTube or something else, like $5,000 or $6,000 jobs that responded to the 5th straight text nurture.
Yep.
Like we follow up until they either opt out or get a restraining order or buy from them. Like that's
you have to, yeah.
Dude, I had Cam Bodden on. He sold a pest control company and a few other home service brands for like over 9 figures. It was like somewhere in the 100 millions.
Wow.
And most of it was this pest control business. And I was like, I just got to know, like at that level where like they were getting ready to sell for like 2 years. So they like in that last 2 years, they got super dialed in on like all of that stuff, right? Because they knew that every pest control customer that they got was like an extra 5 figures of enterprise value.
Yeah, well, they're getting multiples of revenue too, probably. For pest control. Yeah.
And so these guys were like, and so I was like, what were you guys doing to nurture people? Dude, it was the most egregious thing I've ever heard. They had people sending selfie videos as like the 5th or 6th nurture, custom to the person. Like they had dedicated staff that was like, they had nurtured them, they had called them, emailed them, voicemail dropped them, called them, texted them, whatever else. And on like the 5th or 6th touch, they had guys in office like, hey, what's up? It's Steve from Green Mango Pest Control. Like, just want to put a face to a name, show you like, hey, I know you were like, wanted this, whatever. Like, dude, success leaves clues. Like if that business that actually had a local brand to protect, he had like 150 trucks in one market.
Wow.
Like he actually has a brand to protect, right? If they're doing it that much and understand like the value of follow-up system and speed to lead and all of that stuff. Some guys comment on my YouTube and they're like, I don't want to follow up that much. It's unprofessional. I'm like, it's going to hurt my brand. I'm like, what brand?
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Nobody knows who you are. Yeah.
Go to the Safeway by your house, ask 100 people who the best window cleaner is. Not one of them says your name.
I tell that people all the time. Nobody knows who you are. I don't care what. Nobody knows you. I mean, there's just you don't realize that, Like nobody knows who you are unless you got to put your name out there. I mean, it drives me crazy when I talk to some of these contractors. I'm like, you don't want to get on video. I'm like, like, what are you embarrassed of? Like, you got to get on the fucking video, man. What's the big deal?
Yeah, and the other thing that's really like kind of it's humbling for other people to hear, but I'm like, you're really not that special. And when you say things like, oh, I don't want to put myself on camera because I'm not good on camera and I don't want to hurt my brand and I want to do it else. Like what you're really saying is like, I want to be successful in this business, but like not if it costs me getting on camera because I'm a little uncomfortable getting on camera or like something like that. And when you like spell it out to somebody that way, you're like, okay. Like,
It makes such a difference. I mean, I can't preach it enough. Anybody that's listening in, I mean, if you've even thought about it for a second, And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. I mean, right? You'll probably, say this too. Like even these ads that you have these guys running, a lot of it is probably done by their cell phone, right? They're just picking up the phone, they're recording it.
99% of these ads are iPhone ads.
Yep. Yeah. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. I mean, I have like a podcast studio in-house, like dialed in and stuff like that. So I record content, talking head content from there. But, it doesn't have to be that way. Like I recorded my last business. I had a guy that would follow me around and we recorded out in the field and we just whatever,
Right.
just told stories about different things that were occurring on the jobs. And I would just tell stories about it. And homeowners loved it. They would call me
Right.
like, I feel like I could come work for you. I feel like I could I've learned so much from you. I could sell your service. I'm like, oh, you want a job? Come on, like
Yeah, exactly. It's like, dude, the perfect example is like if you look at my personal Instagram, like which is like obviously it sells HSA, it educates people for free, whatever else. It's like if you look at the last week, I have an editor that clips my YouTube videos and they're super professional. They're buttoned up, they're edited, whatever else. Those videos are getting like 1,000 views and like maybe 2 or 3 comments. I did one selfie video last week that was like super, like my camera was foggy or something. The video looks like shit. And it's like, I'm showing the cookie box that we filmed and it has like the most engagement of any of my stuff, of any of my stuff. And it's the least edited and least professional one ever. So it's not like the other ones are bad and I should do less of that. It's like people like just the genuinity of like selfie style, like videos of whoever it is.
It absolutely does work. I mean, and it's not hard to create. You don't need a videographer. You don't need audio dialed in. I mean, just pick up your phone and just shoot and just talk. I mean, and that's what I tell people too. Like you're literally talking to your clients, right? You sell your service. You own the business. You understand it better than probably anybody here, right? So you've been doing it for 15 years, 10 years, whatever the case may be. Like just pretend like you're talking to the phone. Like that's a customer. Just pretend it's a customer and you're just talking to a customer. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Human behavior is human behavior. Like what are you going to convert better on for any product? Like, you're going to convert better on the product where the founder and the owner is in a lot of the stuff. They're telling the story. They get whatever else. Are you going to convert from a still image that was just like ripped off of, Chat GPT image editor and like there's no person, you don't know who's showing up to your house, especially home services, which is bought by a lot of women.
Yes.
Like, do you think like, what do you think the women like more?
100%.
Like seeing who's showing up to their house before they come out. Yep. My parents' house, when I was a kid, their place got robbed by a roofer. This guy walked into our house with dirty boots and stole their checkbooks.
Jeez.
Like a guy on a roofing crew. And so it's like, like the people view home service. I'm in it. You're in it. So we can say it. Like people view home service guys and contractors slightly above car salesmen, but it's not like we're like brain surgeons perception. Like it's not like we're perceived like we're brain surgeons and value to our community by any stretch.
No, absolutely. I mean, you brought up ChatGPT too. I'd like to hit on this too before we kind of wrap things up. I mean, AI is a huge topic right now in home services. What are you teaching inside HSA about AI and how these contractors should be implementing it? I mean, is it something as simple as like a text reply or an auto reply, or is it like sending out automated review requests? I mean, what's the AI that you're teaching inside HSA right now?
So for most of these guys, I say when you're trying this new AI tool, ask yourself one question: is this going to make me more money? 90% of the time, it's just these like cool bells and whistles where I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Like, go knock doors. Like, what are you doing? Like, go make more money. This is not setting up the Claude bot for your 5,000. Setting up a Claude bot for your $5,000 a month landscape lighting business that hasn't sold a job in 3 months. Probably not your best bet. No. Right? Just like go get out there. But for me, if we're talking AI, stop using. And I also just like I don't like Sam Altman. Like I just don't like his energy. I don't like the way he interviews.
I'm right there with you, man. Yeah.
I cannot stand ChatGPT. Yeah. Like I tell everybody, Claude or Manus, stop using everything else. If you want to image edit, use Nano Banana Pro on Google. But even Nano Banana Pro's in Manus, like they're powering it by it, so it really doesn't matter. Claude or Manus. So that's like number one. Stop using ChatGPT. Stop using Grok, whatever. Just Claude or Manus. And then outside of that, it's like I think most home service businesses need to use AI on the back office support side than they do like magically creating some quick fix to like ads or whatever else. And so like a lot of the stuff for us is like, okay, when we just made a sales training, right, for our permanent lighting business. We know we're going to train a few guys on how to sell this. What we did in the past before AI was like, let's get them together. Let's train them in person. Maybe we put a PowerPoint together, whatever else, and we'll train them. Hopefully they get it. We'll take them out on a few site visits, whatever else. Now we record an entire day of live training. We did that once. Recorded everything with like Plaud, like PLAUD is like the voice recorder or whatever else, or you can just use voice memo on your iPhone, whatever. You record an entire day of training. Like I'm talking like 8 hours of training, 5 hours of training. You take that transcript, you take the audio recording, you put it into like Otter AI or whatever else, get the transcript from it, take it, go into Manus AI and be like, to Manus, I'm building an SOP for the sales team for my permanent lighting business. Like, I want you to make me training manuals. I want you to make me a training guide for the trainer. And then I want you to make me quizzes for this. Ask me 3 clarifying questions before you present any prompt. And then the thing will be like, okay, what type of business is this? What is your type of brand? Like, Manus will ask you a bunch of these questions because it's way smarter. And then we took that and we fed it the transcript, and it made us like a pretty much turnkey training manual for sales and quizzes that were like actually interactive and functional, and PowerPoints off of it. Wow. And I was like, this was the first time I had used an AI tool and my jaw like dropped at how smart it was. I was like, incredible. Like, I think I can probably, do we have time? You want me to show you?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
I think I have it on here. Let me pull it up. I use Manus so much now. Like, I'm going to have to hunt.
I love Manus. Yeah, I love that. And Claude, I do. I mean, I kind of play with all of them, but yeah, I've been using Claude a lot lately. But I've used Manus in the past as well.
Yeah. Okay. I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. Okay. So let me share. Is this on? This is going on YouTube, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. All right. So let me hide my sidebars. You can't see what personal stuff I search for on Manus. I'm asking medical questions to the AI, putting it on your podcast. Okay. So, all right. So here's how it worked. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but like all it is like, you're the world's best SOP creator. Your job is to create checklist style SOPs that also operate as a training manual for my lighting business employees. You're to sift through large, whatever in order and create checklist style SOPs for the task. It asked me a bunch of questions, but not going to waste everybody's time. Like, here's the transcript, right, that I fed it. This is the final result. Like, it makes me this fat SOP, right, which is right here. And it's like pre-visit prep. Did you look at this is for sales, right? Did you look at Zillow and Google Earth to prepare yourself before you went out to the quote? Did you identify proper roof line challenges to look at on site? Did you check for existing exterior lighting and landscape lighting we could patch into? Or upsell them different types of products. Imagine that. And then it's like customer pitching. This is why we do RGBW versus RGB. This is what you sell against the competitors on. Like, and this is like, this turns into a sales call checklist as well. And so if you look through, it's like technical site surveys. All this was it was like a super long audio recording of a training. Like, that's all it was.
Amazing. Yeah, it's
and
amazing.
It made the SOP. And then what you do is like, then you go train somebody with this SOP in hand. And then while you're training them, you start like redlining. Okay, I need to have the AI explain this better. I need to have and after like you train 1 or 2 people, you have the most rock solid training manual. And then you go here and it's like, this is a quiz for product knowledge that it made us.
Wow.
Right? Like, what's the primary advantage of RGBW technology? Is it cheaper? It features a dedicated warm white. Well, the answer is it features a dedicated warm white diode. And then it has an explanation down there for the person to get better at. Like, this took 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Like, that's what I mean by like.
No, that's where it's useful. Yeah.
Like, that's where it's useful.
Yeah,
I don't
100%.
see a world where like AI phone answering's there yet and it's going to outperform whatever. It's better than going to voicemail, but it's not better than a human. Like, I don't see a world where like AI is going to sell an estimate anytime soon. Yeah. Like, I don't even see a world where like appointment setting and message setting is that good with AI. Like, I don't even see that yet.
No, I agree 100%. I mean, back in 2020, that's how I did all my systems was through Loom. So I would just Loom everything. I went to a CRM back in 2015. This is like, back in the day. I mean, like, this is so long ago, feels like now, right? Like, 11 years ago, right? So, back then, I mean, they didn't have all these, like I have RoofR right now for roofing. It's specific to roofing. Back in 2015, they didn't have, industry specific CRM. So I just kind of like Frankensteined all these different softwares together. I had one that was my project management software, one that I did my proposals from, where I did my QuickBooks, all this. And they didn't really speak to each other. So, but it was a lot better than going on paper. And that's kind of what I started back in 2004 was on paper. So I was like, this is so streamlined, So what I did is I started recording and started, basically making looms of all the processes. And that's when I started hiring for like freelancers. And I was going out, basically I had maybe 2 people in my office, and we were, like I said, we were generating about $1.6 million in profit. I mean, 3.7 million in top line revenue. And I had a lot of freelancers though that were doing it. And I did that all through Loom. And, getting back to this whole AI thing, if I had AI back in 2020, I mean, yeah, it's a game changer for training purposes. Cause that's exactly what I would do. I'd have a person come in, I'd say, hey, you're going to train, watch these videos first. And then that's how they learn the processes,
Yeah. And I think like on the topic of AI too, like AI is like largely like operational efficiency as opposed to like selling you more, right?
Yes.
Kind of what you're talking about. It's a lot like systems and operations, which naturally, if you get better systems, you're going to sell more. But the other thing that like for a lot of home service businesses, I think is super important is like it's AI, and it's like if you're at that $500,000 to $1 million mark, it's AI and global talent.
Yes. No, 100%. I mean, I'm such a big believer in this because this is how I grew my business. And again, back then I talked to contractors like, wait, what? You have an employee that doesn't work in your office? I'm like, yeah, actually. And they only do one thing. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, I have one person for this, one person for that. I mean, I had different freelancers for just one task. They would literally, I don't care if I need them for 1 hour a week. I just hired them for that 1 hour, and that's all they did. And it was every single week is repetitive. Boom, boom, boom. And they always show up and they never forget, and they you know what I mean? It's like, it's a no-brainer, and I preach that. I'm very happy with that for sure.
Dude, I even take it a step further. I'm saying like you hire a South American and they specialize in something you could not afford to pay, or you should not afford to pay an American salary to do. So like one of the easiest ones is like if you're like, oh, you really want to crank content, good luck hiring an American content like short form editor full time. He's going to be trash and be $50K a year, or demand $110K a year for video editing, and then it's like not great. Dude, there are good South American video editors that will work 40 hours a week for you for $2,000 a month, $1,500 a month.
Yeah.
Like graphic designers.
Yeah, you can't
or like
beat it.
if you go to like Argentina or Belize or like some of these countries, you can like, or New Zealand, because like Americans don't mind Australia and New Zealand accents. It's kind of funny. Like you can have these kind of people that don't have like broken accents, like retargeting your list, like phone setting your list, like something that you could never pay an SDR in the US something for. You can go do that. And like, dude, that's like, my group calls, or my home service accelerator calls now look like the United Nations. I got a lot of Americans in there, but I got South Americans, I got Mexicans, like I'm all over the place now.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely the only way to do it. I mean, in my opinion, that's how you could stay profitable and lean, right? I mean, there's no other way to do it. But, old school ways, you want to hire somebody, I mean, even for accounting purposes, like the way I did my accounting is still like we were at our level, and I was getting prepared for a sale. I mean, I was same thing, was dialing everything in, making sure the books were super clean. But I had, one freelancer that was just did AP, and then I had one that did AR. Then I had a guy that would come in once a month that was super high level guy, but I only paid him for 2 hours to reconcile the accounts. And he would look through he was like a high level CFO, but he only came in 2 hours a month. It cost me like $500, but he was a super high level guy, and that's it. I didn't have an in-person like bookkeeper, which a lot of these contractors do. They have a bookkeeper for 65 grand a year. I'm like, 65 grand a year. I'm like, this is data entry. Let's really break it down. I mean, what is the system here? It's data entry. Like you don't need to pay that,
Yeah. Like we just like for Home Service Accelerator, we just brought on like 2 appointment setters, a short form video editor, and a graphic designer, and all of their salaries combined are less than $8,000 a month.
Wow. That's amazing.
All of them, 4 of them.
That's amazing.
It's insane.
Yeah. I mean,
But you have to, but it's like, in my opinion, it's like a really, like when I was building Home Service Accelerator, I traveled like through South America quite a bit. Just like, I just wanted to go see what everything was about. I went to Europe, South America, whatever else. I think like, it's a kind of I think people kind of like underestimate, like, dude, just because they're in South America, yes, culturally, there are a lot of things differently. Like, yes, America is like the United States of America is absolutely going to be the mecca for commerce and economic growth, whatever else. But like, dude, my employees have to pay rent. Like they got a girlfriend they want to take out to dinner out there too. Like just because they're in, Ecuador or like Colombia doesn't mean that they're just like automatically like not going to be the level of employee that you want.
Yep.
Like it's like a gross, like, no. I don't know.
Well, 100%. And again, they specialize in certain things, so they're really good at that one thing. Usually, if you know how to train them, and that's what really it comes down to too. Like you have to have the system and the process. I feel like in order to hand it off to them, it's not like you just hire a freelancer like, oh, I wanted to do this. Like, no, you have to actually show them this is the way I want it done, and this is what I expect, and this is the process, and they will follow it to the T. Right? I mean, is that kind of your experience?
Yeah, it's guardrails. It's like it's guardrails, but it's also the perception that guardrails exist and that they're audited.
Yes.
So like SOPs are one thing, do it this way is one thing. The understanding that someone is making sure that you follow it properly and is auditing this SOP is a whole nother. Yeah. And that's what I learned from when I talked to that pest control guy, Cam Bodden, the guy who sold the pest control company for all that money. I talked to him and his partner on like YouTube a while ago. And that was the thing that they said like really exploded things for them was like they had built these SOPs for like upselling this form of like upsell for pest control, whatever it was, like rats or something. Yep. And they were like, dude, we've been having the same conversation every quarter about how half the guys aren't doing it. Why are they not doing it? And then they found out like, because we give them the SOP and a week later, no one's ever held them accountable on if they were doing it or not. Yep. They're just getting mad at them in hindsight a month later as why didn't you upsell this? Yep. And it's like, then what they did is they dedicated an employee like a couple hours, like an hour a day or an hour every 3 days. And it was like, all they did for an hour was like check with all the techs. Like, hey, like we noticed you didn't do it here. What was the reason they didn't get it? What was the reason they didn't imagine that?
Yep.
It's some fixed.
No, 100%. That works, man. Guardrails work and checks and balances. You got to be on top. I mean, a lot of people think you just let employees go and just kind of run amok. You can't. I mean, they'll take advantage. They'll just do whatever. They make things up as they go. Yeah, no, 100%. You got to have that dialed in.
Human beings want structure.
Yes. Starts as a baby, as a kid, right? I mean, that's the best thing for kids too.
Structure. Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. No, this has been great, man. I mean, Steven, what else you got going on for HSA? I mean, anything else you want to talk about? I mean, what's your plans and what do you got? What do you have in the future here?
I mean, it's not slowing down anytime soon. Like we're growing more in the wintertime, which wintertime selling anything virtual for home services sucks because, you know, half of the country's in snow. Yep. Like we're growing pretty fast in February as we're filming this now, which is great. And so like my focus this year is just like offer more, like more stuff. Like I just had Bodie from Striker Digital talk on the group call yesterday. You just had him on yours. Yeah. And just like, we're really like the focus on this year is like the sales just come in naturally. Like, we've got a pretty dialed in system. Like, I don't really need to like go over that much anymore. Now it's just like, how can we make everybody so glad that they joined that they just tell their friends? Yeah. And so that's like the big emphasis right now. But eventually, like, this is my long-term thing. Like, I don't think it's going away anytime soon. And then whatever like other thing we can like value add to people from within it is like great because I've built a lot of goodwill in the marketplace through Home Service Accelerator because people like it. So I don't know where it goes from here. I'll probably do this like, we've talked about like bigger businesses done for you offers. So like teach them and their teams how to run ads themselves and actually train their office staff, train their marketing lady, build SOPs for them on the same thing we're talking about for them. So the owner's not involved at all. That's like something we've kind of started exploring, but that's coming down the line. Yeah.
No, that's awesome, man. I mean, you're doing a great job, bro, and you're helping out a lot of contractors, and they definitely need it, like we talked about before. I mean, nobody gets into home services with the knowledge, right? Everyone gets in and they figure it out as they go, and usually it takes years to dial this stuff in. So the fact that you're helping them out, and I think it's amazing. And you guys, everyone listening, you got to check out Steve and Home Service Accelerator. Where can everybody get in contact with you, Steve?
I post 2 YouTube videos a week. So you could just look at me on YouTube, just Steve Hunsaker. And then on Instagram, I think it's Steve_Hunsaker is my Instagram handle. That would probably be the best places. Awesome. Those are the places I'm most active. And then Home Service Accelerator, you just go to homeserviceaccelerator.com and that'll take you everywhere you need to go.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you coming on, and this is a great conversation.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Ted. I appreciate it, man. It was awesome.
Thanks, man. Take it easy.
Yeah, you bet.